And welcome back. This is round 2, game 3. And the thing I must admit, being commentating these matches, is I love it when a game goes to game 3. It just makes it all sort of more exciting.
It's the tension does rise, doesn't it? I mean, the first round, which was very just awkward for Bob.
Yeah.
With some of his draws, and it was definitely not his match, that one.
Mm.
Whereas this time, things are happening. There's back and forth. Even game 1 had that explosive finish.
It did. And game 2 was over very, very quickly. This was obviously my second round for the night. I won the first, came into this one. I'll speak about how I sort of did at the end of the match for the rest of the night, just very, very briefly. Again, if anyone wants a deck list, hit us up, let us know. And
where can they hit you up?
On on MTG Grinders on Facebook, or email us at mtggrinders@gmail.com.
Oh, cool! We've set up a Gmail. That's actually really good to know.
Yeah, hopefully next year we'll have a website, which will be really, really cool.
Nice.
It's what we're working towards at this point in time.
At the moment, there's a WordPress which has some content on it.
Thanks very much. Latest article came out today. It'll be yesterday by the time everybody else receives this. So I've just cast a suppression field, and it's been countered by an Izzet Charm.
I've always been a fan of Izzet Charm, ever since it was printed in Return to Ravnica.
It certainly has a lot of useful modes to it. All the charms certainly do. And Barker comes out with...
Savage Knuckleblade.
Yes, I like to call him good old Frosty.
A lot of people have some nice nicknames for that guy.
Mm. Mine's Old Frosty because he's a bit of a snowman. And I've come out with a...
Pour 3 nodes into Rest in Peace.
Into Rest in Peace, which hopefully, what I'm hoping here is that will obviously resolve, exile everyone's graveyards, and stop things like Dig Through Time and Treasure Cruise. One of the sideboard cards that I bought in against Delver was Rest in Peace.
I've got to say, that's a very good turn for you as well, because not only did you play the enchantment to deal with Barker's creature, you also got a Rest in Peace through counter magic because Barker was tapped out.
Certainly was a good time to do that. However, Barker comes in for 4 damage, places me on 16. Barker's kind enough to change my life total there.
He's actually a very nice guy. For those of you who haven't met Barker, he's one of the nicest people around in that shop.
And let's see what he does here for the rest of his turn. And it looks like we've got an annoying fly in the middle of the camera. Excellent.
He's playing a Snapcaster Mage to keep his Knuckleblade alive for a turn.
And the nodes obviously takes out the Snapcaster Mage.
I wonder if he was thinking about actually returning it to his hand, so that way he can use it later.
And then the nodes would obviously disappear due to the fact of no creatures being in play.
Yeah,
that would be a very good move. Obviously, it would slow him down a bit, and the reason he's kept it in play
was so he could get that damage in. Yeah.
Obviously, the nodes doesn't deal with it, and he can come through for another 4 damage if he'd like. And it looks like he certainly would like to do that, putting me down to 12.
I wonder if he's got any... He's got a Delver of Secrets. He's got his little protection. He's offering creatures to the slaughter, I believe. He's sacrificing to the Porphyry Gods.
The Porphyry God says, thank you very much, I'll take that Delver. So it's just a matter of time, I think, till I try and figure out how much damage I'm going to take from this Knuckleblade.
We've got another 4 coming at you.
Another 4 coming at me this turn. However, I've just put out a Sigil of the Empty Throne, which means if I can get an enchantment out next turn, I'll at least have something to block with. That being said, the Knuckle Blade can pump.
Yep.
Michael's decided not to do that. Puts me down to 8. And let's see if he's got another creature to sacrifice to the nodes next turn.
Did you think that thing was going to stay on the battlefield for that long after you played the nodes?
Oh, absolutely not. I thought maybe 2 hits. Maybe 2 hits. Yeah, it's got me down to 8. And obviously with Michael playing lightning bolts, I don't want to get too much further down.
And he's got another sacrifice.
And if he could come out with something like a probe or a serum visions or something like that, he would have even had a token to sacrifice as well. That would have made it really tough. But obviously the Pyromancer has gone the way of the nodes.
I'm loving the way he's playing around Porphyry nodes right here. Stuck on 3 lands as well. He has not played another land since he originally played that Knuckle Blade.
And nodes being a reprint, I believe, of Drop of Honey.
A functional reprint. Colour shifted reprint of Drop of Honey.
That's it. And that was originally printed in Arabian Nights. And so now I've come out here. So now I've come out here with the Oblivion Ring. Finally got sick of the Savage Knuckle Blade. Now that node should actually go to the graveyard automatically. Oh, actually no, it shouldn't, due to the fact that I now have an Angel in play. So the Angel goes to the nodes. The nodes then gets exiled because of the Rest in Peace. And I get to scry. So I didn't actually get to attack with my Angel because my nodes killed my own Angel.
But it was kind of a free Angel anyway.
It was.
Now you've got another one. Is that a Nevermore?
That is a Nevermore.
It was a Nevermore.
It was Nevermore. It doesn't really matter what I named because...
well, you didn't get the chance to name anything.
No, because it didn't come into play, so I didn't need to name anything. What would have you named, Lewis, if it did come into play? Are you looking at something like Young Pyromancer or Snapcaster Mage?
Look, in this position, I don't know. I'd probably consider even naming one of the counter spells that he's running.
Yep.
There are a few different possibilities, and I don't believe all of them are necessarily right or wrong. But every enchantment you get produces a 4/4, so you just want to be resolving enchantments to try and end this game.
And the more that you can stop your opponent or slow them down, like a Ghostly Prison does, the better.
Now, Ghostly Prison is very good against the army of tokens like what Young Pyromancer can produce.
So obviously I'm waiting here to see if I'm allowed to have a Ghostly Prison playing against the blue control deck. Barker's having a long, hard think about whether he's going to counter that or not.
We can see someone coming over to watch the game.
We get an excellent turnout in Bendigo for Modern, which is very, very exciting. Obviously I'm allowed to have that Ghostly Prison, and obviously that triggers the Sigil of the Empty Throne.
Barker sends a bolt right at your face.
And that makes me a little worried, to be completely honest, because he can just double bolt now and win the game. Granted he can't Snapcaster Mage to get them back, but...
Or he can bolt and attack with more creatures, and you have blockers a couple times. Is it Charm?
Is it
Probably
Charm?
to loot, I believe.
Yes.
Faithless looting. The effect of that, draw 2, discard 2.
Yes, I believe that's what he's doing. Probably to try and find more lightning bolts, because that's, in my opinion, his best chance of winning at this point in time.
Yep.
Just trying to burn me out. Now the mono white enchantments obviously doesn't play any counter magic or anything like that. And so when it's not the mono white enchantment's turn, it's pretty much up to the other person to do whatever they want.
Yeah, the majority of your spells, if not all of them, would be sorcery speed, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Playing a Delver of Secrets. It's a sphere of safety, which makes things very awkward for the army of one points that Barker is amassing.
Yes, I believe at this point in time it was 7 for Barker to attack with any one creature. And I finally decided to go on the offense and move Barker down to 15. So if you're the Delver deck at this point in time, what do you try and do? What's your plan?
It's very difficult. I personally would try to draw Lightning Bolts or Cynic Charms to deal with, to bounce some of the annoying permanents that are preventing me from attacking. Because if I can, say, top deck a Cynic Charm, flip my Delver, but the problem, I can possibly attack with more creatures than you have blockers.
But you then have to...
I still want a Lightning Bolt though.
Yep. And that's a Chalice of the Void for 1, which is another one of my sideboard cards.
Which makes Lightning Bolt pretty difficult.
Yes. Which sort of takes that out of the equation.
Cynic Charm to rescue his...
Yeah, so I've cast a Oblivion Ring targeting the young Pyromancer, and he's made it hexproof in response. The Oblivion Ring still comes into play, so I still receive an angel.
How often do you see people just put the Oblivion Ring in the graveyard in those kinds of situations?
Oh, well, I had to ask the question. I said I still get the Oblivion Ring, it still comes into play.
Yeah, well, because it is a permanent.
It's not actually counted, but...
It doesn't matter if it didn't exile anything, it's still an enchantment.
Yep. And so I've attacked over for 8 here. And if I get to attack next turn, I've got 3 angels in play.
Which is more than enough to deal with Barker's 1 flying blocker.
And so Barker's back to digging here. And trying to find those lightning bolts.
Dig Through Time is a dead card right now, if he wants to, and so is Treasure Cruise, and so is Lightning Bolt. So many of the cards that he can draw are not going to help him at all in this situation.
So there's another Sigil of the Empty Throne. I think I was sort of explaining there how I've got more than enough mana with the Shrine to Nyx to pay for the mana leak.
I feel like Barker doesn't care right now. He knows that this game is over.
And there's the extend of the hand. So that's 2-1 to myself with mono white enchantments. For the entire night, I ended up going 2 and 2, I believe, with that list.
Were you guys on a win on the first round?
I won the first round,
yeah.
won the